Hey everybody, thanks for coming back to Dominic's Flicks. Let's see what today's Blu-ray of the day is. I got it right here. Today's Blu-ray of the day is The Church. This is a film by Michele Soavi. It's presented by Dario Argento. This is released by Scorpion Release. Comes with an exclusive poster. Let's take a look at that. There's the disc right there. Isn't that cool? Let's take a closer look. Ooh. It's real scary looking in the front. Looks like a bunch of people, kind of like a tree trunk or something. A lot of candles. Alright. It's still sealed, so you got a lot of reflection going on. So sorry about that. You got some smoke in the background. Very cool cover art. I wonder who does that. Here's the back of it. Now in the back, you got a little information on the movie, and it also tells you what the special features are. This movie is from 1989 and it's 102 minutes. Now you got some special features like, well, this is an Italian movie, so you got it in English. First of all, you get the trailer, and you get like a interview with Dario Argento. Dario Argento is a Italian director. Did a lot of good stuff, like Tenebrae and Deep Red, and The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Some giallo kind of horror movies. So he had a lot of he produced this movie, and this movie was actually supposed to be, or was in the works to be, part of the Demon franchise. If you've seen the Demons movie from the 1980s, you had Demons 1 and 2. This was actually supposed to be Demons 3, but they changed their mind during the writing. They wanted it to be a little more sophisticated, so they ditched the Demons 3 idea. Let's take a look at the poster. Check that out. You got basically the cover of the DVD, but in a nice size poster size. Not quite a movie poster size, a little small. Put this back in here. Don't want to rip it or anything. Let's see what we got about this movie, okay? Now, this is a supernatural horror movie. A lot of people were involved in this. Let's see here. Here's the plot. And so it kind of like starts off in medieval Germany, and there's like a massacre of supposed devil worshippers, and they're buried in on a ground, and then they build a cathedral over it. And then we fast forward to today, and there's a young girl and it's her first day as a librarian at the religious cathedral, and they meet the bishop, and the bishop warns them, don't go in the church's catacombs, because there could be some. Well, he says it's because of instability in the structure. We know better than that, huh? So, Lisa begins restoring a fresco in the cellar when she uncovers a hidden compartment containing a mysterious parchment. And it looks like it has like some architect's semantics in it. So she's like intrigued. And she tells her friend, right? She tells her friend Evan about it, and they both like sneak this little map out of the church under the bishop's nose, and they start to get together. They get real close over this, this new thing they found, and they like they get real close, if you know what I mean. So then they decide they decide to go explore what the map is saying. So they go to the catacombs and they find the stone, and both of them, their names Gus and Lisa. Lisa's the new librarian. They experience some strange, paranormal visions. And meanwhile, the bishop finds the parchment and begins studying it closely also. And searching the cellar, Evan uncovers the stone in a hidden crypt and a seal embedded into the stone above a cross. Evan manages to pry open the seal, revealing a vast, seemingly endless black void. Some demons are released, basically. So at home, Lisa experiences dreams, and she awakes and the next day she's sexually assaulted by oh, never mind. It says Evan tries to sexually assault her. Sorry, and she's shocked and horrified. So Evan, he's getting crazier. He's becoming violent and stuff. Basically a lot of people are starting to die, There's like this Gus. First of all, Gus, he tries to, he rushes to the cellar and kills himself with a jackhammer, it says. And they have to watch this movie. I haven't seen it yet because it's sealed in the container. I like to keep it sealed. Yeah, I'll watch it though someday. So all of a sudden the church seals shut, and there's a bunch of people trapped inside. And there's like a field trip going on. So there's like kids, and there's like some teenagers, and some elderly people. All right, so and the bride sees her reflection. One of the people is a couple, and the bride sees her reflection rapidly age, and in a fit of madness tears the skin off her own face. That would hurt. You have to really pull to tear your skin off your face. One of the school children sees his friend turn into a doppelganger. And a doppelganger is like the movie Us. Remember that movie, Us? Where they changed into different people. So he sees his friend turn into a doppelganger before being killed. And then the teenager sees his girlfriend and in the embrace of a gargoyle. As the occupants try to find a way out, Gus confronts the aloof bishop and discovers him on the rooftop with a stash of occult parchments and schematics for the church. What's he up to? He reveals that he intends to let the evil inside kill the occupants before being unleashed on what he sees as a sinful and corrupt world. He's not happy with the world, so he just wants to unleash some demons on it. And then he's going to commit suicide. So the people that are locked inside this cathedral, they start dying in droves. You know, the teenage couple managed to dig through a thin section of the floor and rappel down beneath the church, only to unknowingly enter a subway tunnel and be struck and killed. Ooh, there's a lot of good stuff going on in this one. I'm gonna definitely check it out. Never even heard of the church. From 1989, never heard of it before. So where were we? They got struck by a subway. That's probably quick, though, if you think about it. It's better than some deaths, right? Like the jackhammer death would probably be a lot more painful. So then the evils, you know, it just keeps coming, and now the school teachers killed, but so then it cuts to I'm kind of lose the track over here. So it says Lisa enters a trance and wanders into the cellar, finding herself in the same candlelit. Ooh. Okay, so searching the bishop's office, Gus. I thought Gus killed himself with a jackhammer. Oh no. That was Evan, huh? He did it. Gus finds the ancient records recounting the church's creation. So he's like looking back and he sees that all these devil worshippers were killed, you know, and buried there. There's always stuff going on in those sacred ground. You can't bury your past, right? Unless, because it always comes back to get you, right? Excuse me. Okay, so let's see what else happens. So he gets in the bishop's office, and then someone else enters, and upon seeing someone who looks like her in a woodcut depicting the massacre, suddenly flooded with memories from prior centuries, she reveals that the church's architect was left to die in the church he had built. So we're getting a little past stuff going on. Okay. And then his church contains a self-destruct mechanism for the entire building. Gus tells her to flee, and he makes his way to the cellar and the chapel hall as the dead bodies of the massacre victims began to rise. So it's getting deep. They're starting to come after him, and he's got only one. I think he's going to make the sacrifice, you know, that you always get in these movies. He's going to have to kill himself to save the others. Let's see. So Gus reaches the altar and finds a massive pile of reanimating corpses rising out of the ground. He finds the architect's body hidden beneath the floor and activates the self-destruct mechanism. That's what we were thinking. The building collapses, killing everyone inside, including Gus, Lisa, and Evan. Only Lottie escapes. So, everybody dies in that one. What about the kids? I guess all the little kids died anyway. No saving the kids in this one. And sometime later, Lottie returns to the ruins of the church with flowers. A passing truck uncovers the stone seal and blows it open. As she hears the sounds of horses running, Blue light emits from within, just like when Evan first opened it, and she smiles. So this sounds like a pretty good movie, I think. You got, where you got this deep, dark past, right? Of devil worshippers too in the beginning. I want to check that out. And then you got, today. You fast forward to today, right? You got a girl who's, I'm thinking she's the lead, right? Her and Evan. I kind of lost track of Lisa in there. Anyways, you got locked in cathedrals, you got people dying, you got different kinds of unique deaths. Sounds like a really good one to me. It reminds me of, it kind of reminds me of, let's see, you got them locked in a place together. You always got that kind of panicky stuff in like movies like Saw, right? Where they're all locked in a room and then people start getting a little crazy when you're locked in a room. Or you got like cabin in the woods type movies. Yeah, anytime you lock some people together, that probably, that's always fun. And then, let's see, you got the church dynamic. So you got kind of like Exorcist or Stigmata, right? I don't know. Lots of other movies, good movies out there that it reminds me of. Let's see what else we got about this movie. So it stars Hugh Corshire as Father Gus, Thomas Arena as Evan, Dario Argento as Lottie. That must be Dario Argento's daughter, right? So, yeah, it's the daughter. Let me see, Asia Argento. Or Aria. So she's a singer, director, and actress. So she had roles in Triple X, Land of the Dead, Marie Antoinette. So that's cool. She went off to be badass like her dad. Excuse my language there. She became successful like her father. That's what I meant to say. And not only that, but became a singer and an actress. I don't think Dario Argento was an actor. Definitely not a singer, I don't think. She's a big leader of the Me Too movement. So she's the third lead in this movie. So that's someone to check out. She's Dario Argento's daughter. You also got Thomas Arena, who was in The Hunt for Red October. He was in The Bodyguard. So there's some good actors in this movie. The lead actor was in some Doctor Who episodes. He was in Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. And he also was in Highlander from 1986. You remember that movie, Highlander? So we got some good veteran actors in this movie. All right. Now, in an interview conducted in 1988, directors Lamberto Bava and Dario Argento were discussing the follow-up to Demons 2, stating that they were working on a follow-up film. Argento stated it would not be called Demons 3, but potentially return to the House of the Demons. Sounds exciting. The third Demons film had a story developed which involved an airplane and had to make an emergency landing where it finds itself on the island with a volcano where the passengers were kind of stuck in this, quote, weird hell, unquote, and compared the film to, like, say, Alien, except for that instead of you being on a spaceship, you're on an airplane. And so instead of aliens, they were demons. That sounds like a cool idea, you know, like everyone's stuck on like a crashed airplane, and they just keep picking people off, but it's demons, you know. These like demons keep killing each one by one. That sounded like a cool idea. Sounds like it. After several drafts, though, that story was scrapped, and they went ahead with this new scenario where they would be stuck in the church. I think it was a little too hard to with the writing, because it was such an isolated area of the airplane for them to figure out all the writing on that. So anyway, the screenwriters eventually developed a new screenplay with it being in the church, but Argento would later state that the church was never a Demons 3. Nobody but Lamberto ever wanted to make Demons 3, he says. I didn't want it, the studio didn't want it, nobody wanted it. Well, as much as I love Dario Argento, I am going to disagree with him on that one, because I like Demons 1 and 2, and hey, if it's good, keep going, right? I mean, as long as it's still good, don't run it into the ground too badly. You don't need to make Demons, 15, but sounds kind of fun. I don't know. One of my favorite movies is Demons, or at least one of my recent, one of the most recent Italian horrors that I've seen recently. That's been my favorite, is Demons. It's definitely one to check out if you haven't. So the decision of restarting the screenplay from the beginning led to Bava leaving the project because he wanted Demons 3, and he began working on set of a television series, on a set of television films, sorry. This led to director Michele Soavi to enter production and be the director of The Church. Let's see what she's about. Oh, it's not Michelle, it's Michele. It's a man. Well, we're all learning here. Michele, right? Michael. Well, here it says Michael. That's how we spell Michael, but it was spelled Michelle. So sorry about that. Anyway, he's a horror director. Let's see what he's done. He did Cemetery Man, The Sect, which is a movie. That's the one I have right here, The Sect. So Michele, right? Is that probably better pronounced? Michele or Michael? I'm just going to say Michael. Michael Soavi. That's how us Americans say him. No disrespect there, Michael. Okay. Silly me, I thought they let a woman direct the movie, but they probably were being too sexist to do such a thing, right? Unfortunately. Hang on, let me let my dog out. All right, sorry about that. All right, let's get back to the show here. So this led to Michael Soavi to enter production, and he did this right after he completed the film Stage Fright, which I have not seen that one. That's a 1987 movie. Soavi was surprised at Bava leaving the project, stating, quote, I couldn't be he had worked on it for so long and didn't want to complete the project. It's kind of surprising, huh? Soavi had some changes to the script, including a new opening scene. Let's move on from that. Oh, they found the church. Argento stated that looking throughout Europe, Italy, France, Germany, and Switzerland, and found that nobody wanted him to shoot in their church due to the nature of the film. It's pretty dark, so, you know, religious people don't want that dark negative, you know, stuff going on in their church. I could understand that, right? So where did he eventually end up shooting, I wonder? Finding it easier to shoot in Eastern Europe, the crew explored Czechoslovakia, Hungary, and Bulgaria, eventually settling on a church in Hungary. The film was shot in Hamburg. Soavi described his filming experience as exhausting, noting that he was, quote, free that I could do what I wanted, but I also suffered a lot because of the difficulties and the delays. So, not exactly a joyride of a movie make, right? Plus, it sounded like a lot of work. You had a lot of setup scenes. You had to work constantly in this church, right? I hope they had free reign there. So while preparing for the film, Argento learned that Keith Emerson would be interested in writing the score, having worked with him previously on Inferno. So having received his 12-track demo with Argento, which Argento did not like, they were terrible. Even a child would have written music like that, a sort of bombastic march. I sound like a carabini fanfare. So it sounded like Argento he's getting real moody in his later years. I mean, he's complaining about the movie being called Demons 3. He's complaining about this guy's music, which, you know, I'm sure he was a big composer. But hey, everybody has their own opinions. So it's his project. He is producing the movie, right? So what did he end up getting? Did he end up getting the music he liked? Only 3 tracks by Emerson were used in the film: an organ-driven main title theme, a track titled Possession, and a rearranged version of Bach's Prelude 24. For the rest of the score, Soavi inserted 2 tracks by Philip Glass and relied on Fabio Pignatelli, who is credited as Goblin. So I have a few Goblin albums. They're great with horror. They're pretty big with horror. So Soavi was diversely referred to them as pizza schlock and expressed that he wanted the church to be more sophisticated. So what's pizza schlock mean? So they weren't very happy with the music. That we got for sure. In a contemporary review, Variety referred to the film as technically proficient but empty horror exercise. But they praised the score by Goblin. On review, Agitator website Rotten Tomatoes, it holds an approval rating of 64%. And Jason Bachman of AllMovie gave the film a 3-star out of 5 rating, referred to it as gothic-drenched apocalyptic nightmare, and builds a suffocating sense of quiet dread. So he sounded like he liked it. I think with a lot of these critics, you gotta be a real big horror fan, right? You can't just like Silence of the Lambs. You gotta be into like Friday the 13th Part 5, you know? So you should get like different critics, you know, like the horror critics to review movies. Anyway, I think The Church sounds like a fun watch. You got old people dying, you got kids dying, you got couples dying, you got church problems, you got old stuff going on back in the day that's coming back to haunt your past. And you can think of it all kind of like a Demons 3. If you like the first two movies, it was technically written to be Demons 3 at the beginning. So you could watch it with that mindset and have a good old time. These movies are made to have fun with, and they're not made to be, Oscar-winning, Academy-nominated, movies. So, whether the critics liked it is beside the point. It's whether you like it and whether you like these type of movies too. So I want to thank you for checking out my Dominic's Flicks. Today's flick was The Church by Michele Soavi. Bye-bye, thanks.